everybody, and welcome to Sterling High School. Sterling Channel 19 presents high school girls basketball, Colonial Conference style. The Sterling Lady Knights coming in at 6-1, 3-0 in the conference, going against the Collingswood Panthers at 3-2, 1-2 in the conference. And looking at the Liberty standings right there, and we're going to go to the girls introducing themselves right now.
Latanya Berry, senior, Yellen Middle School, Pineville, New Jersey.
Marley Sire, senior, Yellen School, Stratford.
Leilani Franklin, junior, Good Shepherd School, Collingswood.
Nia Holloway, junior, Alice Costello, Brookline.
Tatiana Johnson, junior, Magnolia Public, Magnolia.
Raina Polkak, sophomore, Yellen School, Stratford, New Jersey.
Tori Wilsey, sophomore, Yellen School, Stratford.
Kayla Franklin, sophomore, Good Shepherd School, Collingswood.
Jasmine Johnson, sophomore, Magnolia Public, Magnolia.
Yesenia Johnson, sophomore, Magnolia Public, Magnolia.
And looking at our Colonial Liberty standings, Haddonfield sitting atop at 4-0, followed by Sterling at 3-0, West Deptford at 2-2, Collingswood, our opponent tonight, at 1-2, then Haddon Heights and Audubon rounding out the pack in the Colonial Liberty. The other side of the Colonial, you have Woodbury at 4-0, followed by Haddon Township, Overbrook, Gateway, Lindenwald at 1-3, and Paulsboro yet to get a win at 0-4. And there you look at the matchups. Strong at 6-1, averaging first in the Colonial, averaging 47 points a game, giving up 34 points a game. Latanya Berry coming in at 13 points a game, followed by Nia Holloway, Marley Sire, and Tatiana Johnson. On the other side, Collingswood at 3-2, averaging 33 points a game, giving up 28. Maddie Ifey is averaging 4 points a game, Sam Gersick at 4, Taylor Hinson at 4, and Jade Williams at 3 points a game. And you look at the history since 2007, overall Sterling at 274 and 90. A great tradition here. Collingswood at 166 and 156, just above 500. And in the league, Sterling's 166 and 32. Collingswood's 98 and 85. Sterling's 123, the home and away, 123 and 29, and Collingswood is 65 and 70. Series notes, Sterling leads the series 21 and 6, and Sterling's won 13 in a row, has won 21 of the last 22. Collingswood's last win is in 2008, and it's definitely a series that has been dominated by Sterling. And we're joined by Rob Strauss and also Nick Anderson. Nick, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Great, glad that you're here.
Nick Anderson, the leader of these super fans, getting everybody all hyped for that boys game.
We were very fired up that game.
What was your outfit? Did you have like pajamas on? And there you're looking at Sterling working things around against this zone defense.
Johnson down low for Berry. It can't find her, and Berry tried to rip it away, but it's taken by Alexa Schur. Latanya Berry coming into this game just 8 points away from 1,000. So we had a 1,000 point score here on Wednesday night for Haddon Heights, and we could possibly have one here tonight in Latanya Berry, and joining a pretty impressive group on those two banners on our back wall there to our left.
Yeah, she's had an outstanding career and made an impact right from the get-go as a freshman, and has really just taken off from there. I know she does a lot of work in the off-season, plays some AAU, and has gotten herself into situation now, obviously, where she's going to go for 1,000 points.
Holloway has it picked off by Gersick. Gersick looking for someone to pass to, finally finds Alexa Schur. Down low for Hinson. Hinson has it blocked by Latanya Berry. Not the first time she's done that this season. One of the leaders in South Jersey in blocks.
Now, you know, we talk about her points, but that's the other area where she has an impact in, you know, really having a presence defensively when anybody comes down that lane.
Another look at the block by Berry.
Yeah, she even extended a little bit to outside the perimeter. Very athletic, and that's one thing that stood out, even as a freshman, was her athleticism, and has obviously only gotten better.
We'll see her on this court in about 2 or 3 months' time as well in volleyball. No, excuse me, we saw her 2 or 3 months ago on the volleyball court.
Good job right there defensively, taking away that baseline. There you see, you know, for somebody her size, great lateral movement. I think that's what a lot of the colleges look at and see and are very impressed with. Collingswood's just going to take their time in a patient half-court set. Sterling really tried to harass them on the perimeter, as you see Jasmine Johnson right there.
A little hip check by Sam Gersick. Got a rise out of the crowd. Official staring right at it. And no whistle, but now here we do get one. Interesting. It's getting chippy here already, about a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes into this game. Still no score. Holloway on the drive. She's fouled. She'll not go to the line on this one. They're going to call this one on the floor.
Okay.
Last foul was on Maddie Ifey, her first.
Okay.
Team's first. Maddie Ifey starting, only a freshman. Berry goes empty on that trip down the floor, off the window.
Yeah.
Down low, Collingswood and Maddie Ifey, and she is fouled by Tatiana Johnson.
And one thing you're seeing as you look at, you try to get the ball in there, Johnson gets called for the foul, but the way Collingswood's defending Sterling is going from zone to a man, kind of going back and forth, and it's really kind of crossing Sterling up and keeping him out of any type of offensive rhythm.
Saying that deflected off of Latanya Berry and out of play, so will still remain Lady Panther basketball. 4:48 remaining in the first, still looking for the game's first points. Almost a foul there on Johnson. Shot from the corner is good by Alexa Schur to open the scoring.
And that's all Collingswood's going to do, just keep working the ball around, work it around until they get an open look.
Berry off the window and in. She's 6 away from 1,000.
And you'll see Sterling do that. You see Marley Sire go high post, and boy, she had about 3 Collingswood defenders hedged there, and a great job finding Latanya Berry down low.
All tied up at 2 on a Friday night matinee. A real busy week here in Sterling basketball. The boys hosted West Deptford Monday, and that thriller, the overtime thriller on Wednesday against Haddon Heights. Unfortunately, Sterling came out on the short end of that one, but a fantastic game there. And now a chance for Sterling to get another 1,000-point scorer up on the wall in Latanya Berry.
Yeah, playoff-like atmosphere, and like you said, it's been a great week, and now Sterling off to a slow start, no question about it, but these girls have, you know, been playing well of late, and you got to look for them to get into a rhythm sooner or later.
Three-pointer airmailed by Sam Gersick, and Nick, you got a chance to be in the thick of the student section. What was it like from your perspective? Because we were right in the middle of both fan sections. It was insane.
We were getting very, very loud. I mean, it was to the point where, like, you could not hear yourself think. I had a pounding headache after that game.
That means you did it right. Johnson, foul line jumper, rims in and out, no good. Rebound is going to be a jump ball, will stay Sterling basketball. And in a 2-2 game with 3:23 remaining, it is rather chippy.
Yeah.
And I think it all started with the the hip check from Gershik to kind of create some space that wasn't called.
Yeah, and I've got to give credit to Collingswood defensively. The only time Sterling really got open for an easy look was the only basket to Latanya Berry, but they're doing a good job hedging, and anytime Sterling gets close to a scoring opportunity, there's 3 defenders right in the face of whoever's shooting.
No possession down though. Now another jump ball. Nia Holloway on the floor with Sam Gershik. And the possession arrow favors the Lady Panthers.
If I'm Sterling right now, I think on the offensive end in her half-court set,
and I think the coach just got teed up for Collingswood.
Wow. Must have said a certain magic word that...
I don't think it was a technical.
I don't... The official on the near side... Oh, then maybe she didn't get teed up. Must have been a warning on the bench. Thank you to our official in front of us. Warning on the bench. So the next one obviously will result in a technical foul, but good presence of mind by the official. So at least give a warning and let the coaches know who's in charge here in this game here tonight.
Sterling looking to put pressure on here, trying to trap. And you know, we see sometimes when they put pressure on and get turnovers, it leads to them getting into an offensive rhythm. And I think right now they're trying to do that on the defensive end.
Collingswood drive here, too strong by Williams. Berry tries to run the floor and backs it up to Tatiana Johnson, now Holloway. Holloway for 3, well off the mark, rebound, Latanya Berry, but she steps on the end line, and it goes out of play, 2:38 remaining, still knotted up at 2.
Yeah, Sterling right now just off to a tough start. There's no other way to say it. Really looks sluggish, especially in the offensive end. I'm seeing energy on the defensive end, but offensively just haven't been able to get into that rhythm.
Breaking the press, blocked potentially by Berry, and another jump ball. Jade Williams in it with Latanya Berry, and possession arrow favors Sterling. So already 4 or 5 possession arrow changes.
And you saw Collingswood for the second time breaking the press. Good job by Latanya Berry recovering and avoiding having Collingswood get an easy layup.
Sire double teamed, looking for help, finds it in Nia Holloway. Down low for Berry, yes.
And that's a great bounce pass because, you know, with the job they're doing defensively, cutting off different passing lanes, there really isn't much of an opportunity, and Holloway found it and found Berry down low.
Holloway diving into the out-of-bounds area with Maddie Ifey, almost ran into Coach Behringer there. Behringer didn't even flinch.
He looks relaxed.
He's
man.
A former,
Behringer's sitting in his living room right now, or his family room, just relaxing. He needs an easy chair. Like, you gotta get him.
Put the legs up, recliner.
Yeah.
Coach Behringer had a great run with Woodbury a number of years ago, Coach of the Year, and had a great run. Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
You talk about a fast-paced team, a fun team to watch. That team was unbelievable.
Absolutely. And played great defense. I think that was the impressive thing about what he was able to do with that group. They were good offensively, but he got them to play outstanding defense.
Jasmine Johnson. Too far for Jacinia Johnson, who checked in the game. And another jump ball, and it will be...
Yeah, you see Jacinia Johnson kind of just mistimed their jump right there and wasn't able to get a good handle on the ball, and Sterling's offensive woes continue.
Both teams struggling for offense here. Hinson back up top.
You know, Collingswood hasn't been able to finish when they've broken the press, but they are breaking the press.
Hinson has it blocked again down low. Williams, her shot attempt, and Sterling basketball under a minute to play.
Real nice play by Tatiana Johnson, getting herself in position, knocking that ball away. And that's what we talk about. We talk about Tatiana Johnson. does all of the little things, especially when her team needs that, and especially when they're struggling early on here.
.50 seconds left to go in the first quarter. A 4-2 Sterling lead, and trying to find Berry again, deflected away by Ify.
Yeah, and that's that pass that you try to get to Latanya Berry when she turns and is able to get passes right there. Problem was, Collingswood had Berry fronted, and they knocked it away.
Berry, long two, no good. Rebound falls in the hands of Taylor Hinson. And here come the Lady Panthers with a chance to tie or take the lead. Stripped away by Johnson. 1-on-2, she's gonna take it all the way herself. Wild shot falls for Jasmine Johnson. 6'2" Sterling.
Well, great job under heavy pressure of Jasmine Johnson, staying with it, now getting a steal.
Johnson again to Jacinia Johnson, leaves that one short. Rebound, Alexa Schur. 10 seconds left to play. Open shot, baseline way too strong. Williams, and a double dribble with .3 left to, and that'll pretty much do it for the first quarter. Let's take a look at some recent 1,000-point scores with Latanya Berry only 4 points away from 1,000. And we apologize for the technical difficulty. We'll get back to that, obviously, as we look at some of the 1,000-point scores, more notably Jordan Wallace, back in 2016, now playing her collegiate ball at Rutgers University, who was here over the break. We got a chance to talk to her a lot. And even the head coach, Kylie O'Donnell Marchese, 1,000-point score back in 2011, 1,249 points for Kylie O'Donnell Marchese. And you want to talk about a phenomenal all-around athlete, academics, and just a great person.
Great softball player, too.
Unbelievable. Won everything that she touched. And Kylie O'Donnell Marchese.
Just like Latanya Berry started right from her freshman year and just had an amazing career here.
Look at Jess Kopsky on that list. Almost 3,000 points. 9 points shy of 3,000. Most players would be lucky just to get to 1,000.
Yeah, and
she did that 3 times over.
She led her team her senior year to the state championship with all the groups. I mean, they were the top team in all the states. So,
what do you do for a 2,000-point score? Like, I mean, what kind of celebration do you have? And let alone, they almost had plans for a 3,000-point score had she converted on, you know, 2 more baskets a season.
3 different celebrations.
Long jumper by Tatiana Johnson is good. She has 6 points, or excuse me, 4 points. No, excuse me, that's her first bucket.
Yeah, only a junior, but obviously one of the leaders on this team to go along with the seniors. And
Collingswood having trouble beating this Sterling defense. Off the glass, no good. Goes off of Berry, will stay here.
And I think you have to look at, as we look at Tatiana Johnson right there, you know, with Sterling, hey, play great defense, the offense will come, and slowly, you know, they're getting in a little bit of offensive rhythm, and you saw better ball movement right there, and I think that's the big key.
Almost a steal there by Sterling. Nice corral there by Maddie Ify, the freshman in the starting Collingswood lineup. Collingswood a number of years ago had a set of twins and I believe triplets on the team that were very good players for this Lady Panther team.
Yeah, it was
recent memory.
Coach's daughters.
Turnaround jumper, no good by Williams. Collects her own rebound.
Berry really doing a good job with Williams there. She comes off her girl and
it's an all-around player, and Latanya Berry can do it offensively, and you can see there defensively, obviously, with the blocks and the steals. Jacinia Johnson just pretty much telegraphed that one to Tatiana.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You need, when we say you need quick ball movement, what you have to
look at
there. You see
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter and
you want to talk about Mr. Behringer being relaxed? Coach Carter, you might have one-upped Coach Behringer there. Long jumper is good by Marley Sire. And now the official having words with a fan on the Collingswood side. And now
Wow. Another warning.
Another warning. This one is on the Collingswood fan base. Not a lot of them here tonight. Not like what we saw the other night with Haddon Heights, but
I guess, well, we can't hear what's being said, so.
You mentioned the magic word, Schulze. Something must have been said.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing we don't have that mic'd, and that's gonna be a foul on Berry. Her first, team's third.
And a good job by Williams, sensing Berry was a little flat-footed, was able to drive towards her. I'm sorry, that's Hinson, and get her out of position and draw the foul.
First trip to the line for either team tonight. Hinson, only the sophomore, hits her first. Makes it a 7-point game. And Nick, you got a chance to be in the thick of the action. That first quarter, Sterling got out to a double-digit lead, almost a 20-point lead in that first quarter, and then watched it evaporate. Crazy atmosphere for you guys.
Yeah, like I said, we absolutely went insane, and it was just, I felt like there was just foul shot after foul shot in that second quarter for Heights.
Heights went to the line 16 times, converted 14 of them, and that turned out to be the difference in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amazing how energy in the gym translated to energy out on the floor.
Yeah. Their fans brought their energy, we brought ours, and it just...
And it was friendly for the most part. It was a good. There were no issues. We didn't have any, any problems between the two fan groups. I know you guys were going back and forth on Twitter and just having some good, clean fun.
Friendly banner.
Yeah. A turnaround jumper by Hinson is no good. Rebound to Sterling. If you're just joining us, Latanya Berry just 4 points away from 1,000. She has 4 points. Johnson, long rainbow three is good. Jasmine Johnson for three. Sterling gets out to their biggest lead of the night at 9.
Yeah, the good ball movement out of the wing kind of sunk that defense in, led Johnson open, and she drained it.
Steal here again by Johnson. Johnson goes all the way. She's fouled. And she'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, we've seen Johnson out on perimeter defensively. As you look at her drain that one, defensively really harass the guards of Collingswood. But again, I think the key for Sterling is patient half-court trips. And, if it's there, push it ahead, push the fast break ahead. But if not, patient half-court trips and quick ball movement. And Rob, you touched on it. Quick ball movement, but with ball fakes. If you telegraph passes, you're going to get picked. You're going to have turnovers.
Nick, you've seen enough basketball to know that you can't be telegraphing your passes to really anybody at this level.
Oh, yeah. They're just going to get picked off, and that's just something that you cannot do.
Perfect triple by Sterling as the Lady Knights going to make a substitution. Nia Holloway going to check back into the game. Jasmine Johnson going to take a seat. She's leading all scorers right now with 7 points.
Sterling slowly getting into that offensive rhythm, but again, give credit to Collingswood. Breaking the press, and this time even finishing. That was their problem before, finishing after they'd broken the press.
That was Ellen Pope, who has checked in the game for the Lady Panthers off the bench, getting a quick bucket, making it 15-6, 4:40 remaining in the half. Tori Wilsey into the game for the first time tonight for Sterling. Talk about another good athlete, all-around athlete, Tori Wilsey.
Yeah, yep, really good soccer player.
Long three from Holloway, catches nothing. Coach Marchese not going to be happy about that shot selection there.
Yeah, and they kind of reverted back to sluggish movement away from the ball there. Just when you felt like they were getting into an offensive rhythm, kind of were a little flat-footed on the offensive end.
Wilsey almost comes up with a steal and a travel before the shot on Alexa Schur.
But impressive how they're able to beat the press, just giving diagonal looks, flashing middle. And you always say the best way to beat the press is through passing and not overhandling the ball, and that's what Collingswood's able to do. But obviously, they're having their problems when they get down low and finishing.
Wilsey, Jacinia Johnson, Nia Holloway, Marley Sire, and Latanya Berry on the floor for Sterling. Halfway through this first half. Glad you joined us here on a Friday night. Latanya Berry, 2 away from 1,000 for Latanya Berry.
Yeah, great work between Sire and Berry, and Sire had to put a perfect pass right to Berry where she could use her body against the defender and lay it right up. Second time we've seen them execute that play, and that's really fun to watch.
Largest lead of the night for Sterling at 11, thanks to Berry with 6 points, all from right underneath the basket. That's her office.
Yeah.
They always said behind the net for Gretzky was his office. Down low in that, underneath the basket, that's where Latanya Berry lives.
And I like how Sterling's being creative. They had the ball on the outside, weren't able to get it into. Collingswood was fronting her. Then they got the ball to the high post, and that's where they found their opening. And again, just an outstanding pass by Marley Sire.
Holloway, the help defense, cuts off the would-be scoring opportunity for the Panthers, and a foul on Marley Sire. That's going to be her first. Team's 5th. Check that, team's 6th, excuse me. 3:03 left to go here in the half. Sterling leading 17-6. Holloway on the rebound off the errant shot by the Lady Panthers, and looking for Berry. Goes off of a foot. Surprised they didn't call the kickball there.
Yeah, looking for the bounce pass, but just what really wasn't in position right there. Kind of forcing things a little too quickly, a little too fast paced there.
And the officials are going to meet and talk about, and they're having words with the Collingswood bench again.
I don't know how many warnings you can give.
Well, they got the bench warning. They also got the fan warning. And the oft overlooked fan warning.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the officials take time out of the game to yell at a fan. Usually it's one and done.
And different crews will let you vent a little more than others.
Sire, strong move down low, deflected away, will be Sterling basketball.
Yeah, there you see on the shot down low, you've got Berry with the shot, but Sire positioned for the rebound. That's where Sterling really have an edge.
Holloway for 3 off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound to Wilsey. She lost the handle into the hands of Alexa Schur, and now here comes Gershik for the Panthers with under 2.5 to play here in the half. Sterling an 11-point edge. Collingswood having a tough time trying to find really any offense consistently.
And Sterling just continued to harass them in that man-to-man defense.
Tick around the 2-minute mark. Latanya Berry 2 points away from 1,000.
Yeah, the movement on defense is impressive. They're really not allowing themselves to get picked. That's just a great effort.
Off the window and in for Taylor Hinson, her first field goal of the night. She has 4 points.
And that's one of the few times we've seen an opening down the lane, and Hinson took advantage of it.
Berry off the window and in. Number 25 is number 22 on Sterling Lady Knights 1,000-point scorers list.
There we see Little guy going out there. Well deserved.
Kudos to the Lady Panthers as well and the rest of the Collingswood crew for allowing this moment to happen. And sometimes, you know, we saw this the other night when Heights had their 1,000-point score. The game kept going on.
Right.
So kudos, Latanya Berry on 1,000 points.
And how many times do you get to see back-to-back games on the 1,000-point scores?
Yeah, and you got to witness it.
Yeah.
You're a part of it now.
Here's the play right here, the pass from around the high post, and that's what they start to have success with. Just great timing on the pass. Outstanding job there getting the ball down low, and Berry catches it and finishes it off. And wow, what an amazing accomplishment by Latanya Berry.
More notably, she's got a chance to pass Tyra Satchel, who finished her career 3 points shy of 1,100. And we're not even about a quarter of the way through the season, not including playoffs. You could be looking at 1,100 plus.
Oh, no question about it. Yeah,
maybe she could flirt with 1,200 as well.
A lot of scoring ahead of her, and they're going to need those points from her, especially, you know, when you get down to playing some of the better teams in the conference. And you look at that play, Nick, just great body control by Berry, something you don't always see from a taller girl.
Oh, yeah, and just everything. She's very athletic, but at the same time, she's very physical. It's just, she's a very all-around player.
Yeah, that's a good point. A complete player and
humble as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have Latanya in class, in our sports broadcasting class, and not once does she mention it. She's never talked about it in class to us. We're always the ones that bring it up to her, and she's always like, yeah, I don't even know how many points I am away. But we're all tracking it, and she's just kind of like, you know, it is what it is.
I'm sure the team was probably, you know, we talked about them being sluggish early on. The team might have been a little bit nervous. You saw some passes being forced down there, so it's a great accomplishment, and boy, well deserved. But I'm sure she's glad she's got it out of the way, and now you just play.
Next goal up, and which is probably the South Jersey Group 2 title, which I'm sure is on their radar.
Absolutely. Every
year. And we've been very fortunate here over the last, as long as we've been doing games, as Latanya picks up her second personal, team 7th. We've been very fortunate to be witnesses to I don't want to say a dynasty, but a long-standing tradition of girls basketball here at Sterling High School, and able to bring that to you here on Channel 19 and Sterling Radio.
Yeah, this tradition's been unbelievable. I mean, even you go way back to the late 70s, throughout the 80s and 90s with Bill Ulrich, winning a lot of championships, and it's just when you think of Sterling girls basketball, you think of a lot of good things and a lot of great things that they've accomplished.
I feel like we're the San Antonio Spurs of girls basketball.
Yeah.
Always in the picture.
I can't remember a year, Kevin, where we weren't in the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's a kudos to all the coaches that came before Kylie and the players that came before Kylie that have, you know, built this into a legacy that is put Sterling girls basketball on the map.
Yeah, they've always challenged and have always been one of the top teams when you talk about teams going into the Group 2 playoffs at the end of the year.
We've witnessed a celebration. We've witnessed heartbreak.
Sure.
Fortunately, tonight we get to witness some celebration. More to come down the road, I'm sure. 24 seconds remaining in the half. Sterling a 10-point lead. Marley Sire cross court for Wilsey. Jacinia Johnson up top to her sister. Raina Pelkak in the game now. And another kickball, 4.8 left on the clock.
And with the big lead, this is where you want to work on things. Work on your ball movement. Work on ball fakes. You know, do things that you can take out of this game and use against maybe like a Haddonfield coming up.
Sire is fouled by Maddie Ifey. That's her second. Team's second. Excuse me, team's third. Probably not what Maddie Ifey wanted with 4 seconds remaining in the half to pick up her second, but she'll sit the last 4 seconds out. Pelkak loses the handle with 2 to go. Shot is not going to be able to get off by Johnson, and Sterling will take a 10-point lead into the locker room, but obviously the highlight, the big story, Latanya Berry scores point number 1,000 as she scored 4 points in each of the first 2 quarters. We'll get off to a quick break, assess the first half, look at some of the previous 1,000-point scores in recent Sterling Lady Night basketball history. In the meantime, we'll get off to a quick break, come back, second half action. 19-8, Sterling over Collingswood at the half. Sterling leads the Lady Panthers 19-9. Glad to join us here on Channel 19. Want to thank Nick Anderson for joining us in the first half. We take a look at the leading scorers. Latanya Berry, you see there with the 8 points. She got her point number 1,000. That's the big story. Jasmine Johnson with 7. Marley Sire chimes in with 2. And not a lot of scoring for Collingswood, Kevin. 8 points right there, and that's really about it of their 9.
Yeah, they've done a nice job breaking the press, but again, just haven't been able to finish. And give credit to Sterling, what they're able to do on the defensive end. Sterling back in that man defense. Collingswood just taking their time. They're not going to rush things. They just want to look for a patient half-court trip. And there you see Johnson going to get called for the foul, but she's really done a nice job harassing the perimeter on the defensive end.
Gershik picks up her second. It's the team's first. And Sterling looking to really try and get the offense going. I wonder if the focus was all on trying to get Latanya point number 1,000. Now that's over. Now you can focus on getting back to your game.
Yeah, I think so. But also I think, Collingswood kind of throws a little bit of a wrinkle at you where they go back and forth between the man and the zone, and kind of just did a good job getting bodies in the way of the shooter, whether it's from the outside or the drives down the lane, and kind of threw Sterling a little bit out of whack. Give credit to Sterling, though. They really recovered and kind of get back into a little bit of a rhythm.
Traveling violation on Hinson as she dragged her pivot foot trying to find somebody to pass to. Completely different game from what we saw 48 hours ago. And,
oh, yeah.
Not a lot of offense here tonight, and should see a pickup here in this second half.
There you see him trying to get the ball to Latanya Berry in the high post, and Marley Sire was down in low post, kind of the opposite of what we've seen in that first half.
Foul on Jasmine Johnson, her first, team's first. Score was 6-2 after 1. 19-9 at the half. Low-scoring affair. Thank everybody watching at home tonight. I know I talked to Coach Barringer. Coach Marley's watching at home, so shout out Coach Marley's. Coach Atine said he was going to check in, so shout out to Coach Atine. Tennis.
Tennis, had to get that in.
Have to.
Being a fellow tennis guy with Mr. Atine.
Quite excited for the tennis season myself.
A litany of turnovers here in the opening 2¼ minutes.
And Sterling right now are going to go with the press, with Holloway guarding the inbound, and Johnson's going to pick it up right here at half court.
Strong screen set up by Alexa Schur.
And one of the few strong screens, Sterling's done a good job evading them, and that's one of the many reasons why you're seeing Collingswood struggle offensively.
Holloway, the pass down low, and a travel again by Jasmine Johnson this time, and now a timeout by Coach Marchese.
Yeah,
and she is not happy with the way that the team came out of the locker room here in the opening 2:40.
Yeah, and they went with the fast break, but good pass by Holloway. Just Johnson wasn't able to handle it. And we look at our YouTube from Sterling Channel 19 is where you can get all the highlights and full games that Mr. K puts on there, and everybody's able to see it at your leisure. You can go on a smart TV and go to YouTube and watch most of these Sterling events that we do. So it's really a great thing how things have transpired over the last couple of years, and it's great that people can watch these games either live or from anywhere on YouTube. You can catch these girls play, and it's good you know, if obviously their parents live in the area, but if they have relatives, a grandparent who don't live in this area, they're still able to catch these games. And kudos to you guys for getting all the technology together and making this happen.
Oh, it was great. The big game that we keep mentioning, the Heights game the other night. The girls basketball team was playing Heights, and there's a video that was sent to us of all the girls on the bus on the way home with their phones out watching the game. Yay, technology. Tatiana Johnson, ball fake, foul line jumper is well short. We're still looking for the first points of this half.
Yeah, a little encouraging. Obviously didn't score, but I like, you like a lot of things Tatiana Johnson does, but you saw something right there. You know, she had a pump fake on the pass, a ball fake, and threw it the other way. Got the defense going the wrong way, and I think that's what Sterling has to do more of. Had the pump fake, create her own opportunity. Wasn't able to convert, but there are some of the things I think on the offensive end that Sterling has to do more throughout this game and in future games.
Coach Marchese, we mentioned a 1,000-point scorer in her own right, graduated back in 2011. Hard to believe that that was almost a decade ago. Finished her career with 1,249 points. Hit a real big shot in the playoffs against Camden in a losing effort to force overtime. Came off a great screen and just buried an NBA three at the buzzer.
That was on our promo for a long time.
Yep. I was on the PA call that evening, and the gym was packed, and I announced her name, couldn't even hear. The place was so full. It was just a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Camden went on to win that game in the overtime session.
Had a lot of great playoff games here where the gym was energized, but that's what we said about the other night. Incredible thing about that was it was a regular season game.
Felt like a playoff game. Berry is fouled. She'll go to the line looking for points 1,001 and 1,002.
Again, a little better job moving the ball, and that's where you have to get the ball down to Latanya Berry. We've seen them try to get them to her from the wing. You saw right there from the wing. Had success early on, especially throughout that first half, getting the ball to the high post and passing it down to her from there. So Sterling's kind of adjusting and trying to find her in a lot of different ways throughout this game.
Last foul was on Jade Williams, her first, team second. It sends Latanya Berry to the line, and she hits 1 of 2. 1,001. Next milestone up.
Sterling continue with that press. There you see, good job by Johnson.
Hard foul. They're going to call offensive foul.
Wow.
On Jasmine Johnson. That's her second.
Don't know that I agree with that one.
And that's Maddie Ifey, and I believe she's a little Sam Gertch, excuse me.
Wow, that wasn't even close to an offensive foul. That was her. The defender's feet weren't even, you have to have it set for a second. The defender's feet were in the air.
I think if nothing else, that knocked the wind out of Sam Gersick, the senior.
Very physical play.
It's been physical from the jump here tonight. Trying to break the timeline, they do not. Good defense by Sterling, hated by the super fans.
Well, the defense has been consistent the whole way through, and that's going to win them a lot of games, even like we said, when they didn't have anything going offensively early on.
Berry at the foul line, double teamed, and it's going to be a jump ball. We'll stay here, Sterling basketball.
And that's something you see Berry out on the high post. She has such a good height advantage and is able to get up off her feet. You get it to her, even if she is in traffic.
All the Johnson sisters on the floor right now as it's deflected away by Taylor Hinson.
Right now, Sterling is not playing their best basketball. And if we were playing a different team, I think we would be down severely.
Sterling throws it into their own bench.
I mean, you know, at times they're doing some good things. You mentioned Johnson with a couple ball fakes, but there you see them look flat-footed in their half-court set.
Super fans getting into it here on a Friday night. 3 on the way as well, short. Rebound underneath the basket, rebound. Went to Hinson initially, but Berry took it away.
Fans screaming air ball.
Berry for 3, yes!
Now they're definitely going to hound Berry when she's down a low post, but was wide open and figured why not.
Sterling going to dip into their bench, bringing in Leilani Franklin for the first time. So the junior going to check in and replace Marley Sire.
Honestly, if you're really gonna leave her that wide open, why not take the shot?
Yeah.
And again, another foul. Reach-in foul on Jacinia Johnson, her second, team's third. One thing Sterling's doing well tonight, playing tough defense.
Absolutely.
And that's been a staple of their game over this period of time that we're talking about the, for lack of a better word, dynasty.
Especially out on the perimeter. They really defend them well. And you know, that can win you a lot of games, but against the better teams, you need to be more consistent on the offensive end of your half-court set.
And another foul on that pressure defense. The foul goes against Wilsey, her first, team's fourth.
This aggressive defense, they're going to soon find themselves in foul trouble. Again, we saw that during the boys game Wednesday. So hopefully they try not to get into too much foul trouble.
14 fouls for Sterling, 2 for Collingswood. 90 seconds remaining in the third. All 4 points in this quarter scored from Latanya Berry, who just buried a 3. Collingswood has been blanked offensively in this third quarter. Turnaround jumper off window and glass, no good. Rebound battles around and falls into the hands of Latanya Berry with 1 minute remaining. Berry double teamed, and a jump ball will be Collingswood basketball.
Yeah. And guys, to me, you know, there's times for a bounce pass, but that wasn't it. You know, when you have Latanya Berry, and there's going to be times where she's double teamed, and you're going to get the ball to her. You've got to get it up high where she has that advantage.
They break the press, deflected away by Wilsey. Hinson on the baseline, foul line drive is good. First points of the quarter come with 40 seconds remaining in the third. Hinson has 6.
Man, Hinson just got free for a little bit, but those opportunities have been few and far between for Collingswood.
Wilsey from the baseline leaves it short. Rebound to the aforementioned Hinson. Up ahead of the pack, throwing it away, looking for Ify. And Sterling a chance with 19.2 remaining to hold for the final shot, up by 12.
Yeah, after the first basket, Collingswood thought on that fast break they could steal one, but Sterling was able to recover, and the pass was definitely high and long.
Under 10 to play, deflected away by Hinson. Looking for Leilani Franklin down low. Different look here for Sterling as they go with Jacinia and Jasmine Johnson, Tori Wilsey. It's off the mark. Franklin tries shot at the buzzer. She's fouled before the buzzer, so this is going to be some foul shots for Leilani Franklin. The quarter is over, so Franklin will shoot the foul shots all by herself. Foul is on Gersick, her third.
Great job of Franklin having a sense of knowing exactly how much time was left, and just, she was off bounce, but threw it up and used her body to draw the foul against the defender. and gets herself to the free throw line. That's a great job by Leilani Franklin coming off the bench, the junior.
It kind of feels like penalty kicks right now. I know it's not soccer, but it just feels like it.
Leilani Franklin ends the quarter with a pair of free throws. 25-11 as we head into the final frame. Sterling 5 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Not a lot of scoring in that third quarter, but we'll get off to a quick break, come back with fourth quarter action right after this. Welcome back to fourth quarter action here from Sterling High School. Rob Strauss, John Hallwood, Kevin Schulz. Lady Knights, not a lot of offense to speak of for really either team tonight, but they lead where it matters. 25-11, Latanya Berry scoring her 1,000th point in the second quarter. Congratulations to her. And the final frame underway here on this Friday night. A busy week here at the Castle. Berry off the window and in. She now has 14 points to lead all scorers. More than half of Sterling's scoring coming from Latanya Berry.
Yeah, and they're back to getting it to her from the wing. Again, if she's in traffic, you've got to get the ball up high. She's going to convert like she did right there.
Pass up ahead for Holloway, looking for Berry down low. She's fouled, and she got a look at Jade Williams, and Berry did not like the aggressiveness of Jade Williams.
But in any event, I like how they're getting it to her when she's covered. Let's face it, she's going to be double teamed, and you know, with a lot of girls, if you're double teamed or if you're covered, you're not going to throw them the ball. But with her, you've got to get her the ball, but you've got to get it to her up high.
Are they going to? They're going to call a double foul, I believe. Foul's going to go against Williams. That's her second. That's a team's fourth. And I believe they got Latanya.
No, it's going to be on. It's actually going to be on Sterling.
Latanya picked up her third.
I don't know what's.
Wow.
So a double foul.
I think
they went to the possession arrow on that, and it did favor Collingswood. Sterling leads 27-11. Sire takes it away, looking ahead for somebody with Sterling. Oh, beautiful steal and a takeaway from Jasmine Johnson, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, Jasmine Johnson has been outstanding on the perimeter defensively, and is one of the big reasons why you're not seeing Collingswood do much offensively. Really staying low, playing great fundamental defense, and just on cue causes the unforced turnover there. As we look in a replay, seen her get the layup. Shout out to Len and Kathy Aledo watching in YouTube land.
Or they're watching.
They're on the border. They're in the Gloucester Township end where they get. I don't think they get us on cable. So wouldn't normally get us if we weren't in
again technology
YouTube mode.
Yep.
Kudos to you guys.
Nia Holloway just went through a chair like it was nothing.
6:20 remaining in the fourth. Sterling out to a commanding 18-point lead. This is their largest lead, obviously, of the night. And it's going to be Sterling basketball as it goes off of Hinson out of play. Or excuse me, Jade Williams out of play. Busy week next week. Haddonfield on the schedule for both the boys and the girls. As Tatiana Johnson chimes in with a deep 2, she has 4.
Yeah, they left Johnson open, and she got it and got rid of it quickly.
20-point lead as it's picked off by Berry, but she steps on the baseline. Good effort there by Latanya Berry.
Yeah, that's a great effort, moving defensively away from the ball as we look at the replay with Johnson burying her shot.
That's going to be a
over the back foul by Jasmine Johnson, her 3rd, team 6th. Get a chance to look at these standings for Sterling. Sterling and Haddonfield all knotted up at 6-1 and undefeated in the conference. Still very early. So that Haddonfield matchup next week looms large for both the boys and the girls team, as Sire one-hands the rebound and forces the jump ball. It'll be Sterling basketball.
Obviously, the big thing we're taking away from tonight is Latanya Berry's great night with getting 1,000 points, but this game just, I don't know if it's because we're coming off the Haddon Heights game, but just has a sluggish nature to it.
Fallon Alexa Scher, her 1st, team's 5th, but I agree with you, Schulte. Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's been really any offensive flow to this game by any stretch of the imagination.
It's really been like more turnovers than points, and I just say that.
Right on cue, Nia Holloway picks up her 1st points of the night with a 3 right in front of the superfan section to extend the Sterling lead.
Fundamentally, Nia Holloway setting the feet, following through, and draining a 3.
3 threes on the night for Sterling. Jasmine Johnson and Latanya Berry have the other 2. Taking another look at the 3-pointer by Holloway, even with Jade Williams right in the face. Holloway drains it.
And down the road, they're going to need outside shooting with teams collapsing down on Latanya Berry. So you're going to see teams have a lot of different creative ways to defend her.
Next game coming up on Monday. It's been a busy January here on Sterling TV 19. Boys basketball taking on Audubon. Should be a very, very good game for Sterling. 5:30 start right here on Channel 19 or live on YouTube. We look at the Colonial Liberty standings. And you see Audubon down there at 0-4 and 1-5 overall. And this is the girls' standings. I believe the game next Monday is the boys' game. But you look at the boys' standings here, Audubon, or excuse me, girls' standings here. Audubon looking for their 1st conference win. They are in action tonight, I would imagine.
Yeah, and the big thing, you look at the top, you see Haddonfield and Sterling. They're going to duel it out. Keegan Douglas is the outstanding player for Haddonfield. And there you see Woodbury at the top. 4-0 conference, 6-1. That's a little bit of a surprise. And Haddon Township, obviously, they're always near the top. Overbrook, who's had some bad years and some good years, now it looks like they're kind of on their way back.
And Overbrook, again, leaving the conference. This is their final season in the Colonial Division.
Going to be replaced by Gloucester City in the conference, which is good to see a team like that with a lot of tradition.
Overbrook going to move over to the Tri-County Conference at the end of this academic year. So a little shake-up. We're going to have to replace a banner here in the rafters as all the Colonial Conference teams are displayed. Berry underneath from Johnson. So that'll be a different start to a different rivalry, so get Gloucester City in here.
And they have super fans too, so you might see a lot of what you saw the other night.
Might take some time for that to build up, that rivalry to build up, but you never know. I mean, all it takes is one game, one close game in any sport. As Latanya Berry checks out.
Yeah, I mean, the gym is unbelievable for a Group 1 school. You've got the scoreboard. I believe it's in the center. Mr. K can correct me. Center, and just a fan base that is as rabid as anyone in South Jersey.
Oh, they'll fit right into the Colonial then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said the rivalries will develop quickly.
Really will, actually, by the sounds of that. You might get a quick rivalry in the first or second game.
We'll see. Yeah, I would not be surprised, John.
Latanya Berry's night, I would imagine, is over with a 25-point cushion. She finishes with 16 points. Johnson is fouled by Hinson.
Had a nice open window to shoot and kind of misses that.
Well, and there you see Tatiana Johnson, whenever she gets her hands on the ball, seems to make the possessions count, whether it's, you know, open for a shot, or you saw when she got her hands on the ball, last trip down the floor, great pass to Latanya Berry, and there, drives to the basket, gets contact, draws the foul, gets herself to the free throw line.
Tatiana Johnson, 5 points on the evening, looking to make it 6.
I just don't think you can underestimate her value to this team.
Hinson down low off the glass and in. First points of the quarter for Collingswood from Hinson. She leads all Panthers with 8 points.
A little too high there.
Pair of substitutions going to check in. Tori Wilsey going to check in for Sterling, and checking in for the first time for Collingswood, Natalia Jackson. Post-game show coming up. Well, I'm sure that's
Latanya
obviously
Berry. Yep.
going to be the one that we focus on. It'd be great to hear her comments on not only the game, but her journey to 1,000 points.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I believe, we'll talk to her, but she picked up the game later. I mean, you see a lot of these girls probably started when they were 5, 6 years old. She didn't start until she was a little bit older. But boy, has she really come on and made herself into one heck of a player through a lot of hard work.
Here's something. Who is the next closest 1,000-point scorer right now?
That's a fantastic question. Schulze, you got, I don't think
you know
there's...
Well, Tatiana Johnson's junior, but I don't know where she is career point-wise, so... But yeah, that is a good question, John. Not sure.
John,
we got to get the research.
You know what? Do that on Monday.
John,
yeah, that's
ask
your
the
job.
question. Now we're going to make you head of the research department. Congratulations.
Yep. Next girls game. That's your homework. If you don't show up with that information, we may have to look in a different direction. Might go back to the bullpen and bring back in Nick Anderson. Timeout on the floor. 30-second timeout. We get that timeout, we get the opportunity to, once again, promote our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SterlingTV19. Highlighted tonight will be, I'm sure, the Latanya Berry point number 1,000 back in the second quarter, and that has been ingrained in the history books here at Sterling High School. And, you know, we could look at some of the, we were here for the second banner, not as much for the Katie Brennan, Amanda Brennan days.
Right.
For Channel 19, but you know, you look at since 2011, we've only had 6,000-point scorers, and that's still a lot. There's some schools that don't have 2 banners full. They don't even have 1 banner full. So
yeah, no, that's impressive.
Steal and the lay-in for Sam Gerchik, her first bucket of the night, with 1:45 remaining.
As we said, it speaks to the great tradition here, Robbie, to talk about the banners and all the girls that are up there.
And right now, I think Sterling's going to play their players that won't get as much playing time.
Brina Pelkak in the game, as well as Kayla Franklin. 3 on the way, no good, off the glass, rattled around, and Collingswood with 90 seconds remaining. Both teams going to look ahead to next week's schedule. Hard to believe that this was a 6-2 game after the first quarter.
Yeah.
Sterling turned it on late. It took them a while, but
yeah, and their defense definitely led to some fast break opportunities and led to a little more scoring in that second quarter. And they were able to get Collingswood out of position through their speed. But definitely not a stellar game in the half-court set. You know, you saw a few things, but definitely this, you know, this team's capable of more.
Maddie Klein checking into the game, as well as Brianna Red, the freshman. So some valuable varsity minutes here for some of the younger players. And you talk about this a lot in these games that are pretty much decided at this point. These are big minutes for these players that come in and play a full game of JV, or, you know, more than fair shares where they come into a varsity. That's exciting for them.
Yeah, getting used to the speed a little bit, and just being out on the floor when you have a big crowd here. Remember, you know, the JV game is, what, 4 o'clock? And a lot of people aren't in the gym. It's pretty much an empty gym, but
I was actually
getting used to the environment.
I was actually quite surprised. It's a little bit less people in the JV game than there was in this game, but it was, the gym for Sterling was actually quite full. Well, not quite. It was normal size for a JV game. It wasn't that empty, really.
Maddie Klein will run the offense for Sterling. Finds Franklin. Baseline jumper, no good. Trying to get her first varsity points here tonight. Maddie Klein, a long 2 is good. Maddie Klein, and the bench erupts.
Yeah, that's what you call being a team. You see the girls on the bench right now cheering as much as anybody. Maddie Klein drains that outside shot.
Pelkak, yes!
Brina Pelkak.
And it's really good to see the bench really cheer on their players that they're gonna be here for the future.
Sterling takes care of Collingswood, 41-17. And here comes a shot from Maddie Klein, and I watched her all the way up the floor. If you watch her turn around here, look at the smile on her face right there, and that's really what it's all about.
Oh yeah.
What a great moment. I know our parents are here off to our right, but Sterling wins this one 41-17. We're gonna get off to a quick break, come back with the post-game show, and Latanya Berry, the most recent 1,000-point scorer for the Lady Knights. We're back after this.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Chirp. Hello, hello. Yep. So it's this one. Yeah, I can see a lot. Oh, yeah, this is the one we had issues with before. It's got a lot of audio coming in for no reason. Yeah, nothing's plugged in. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm here.
Show you. Really? You're gonna. Told ya.
Sterling wins this one 41-17. They improved to 7-1 overall and 4-0 in the conference. And we are trying to get Latanya Berry on. She's the latest 1,000-point scorer, and it's the 22nd 1,000-point scorer in Sterling Lady Knight history. There's a bunch of pictures with her family and the team, and these are memories frozen in time, and we're going to try and get Latanya on and obviously talk to Coach Marchese as well. But a big victory here for Sterling, a very, very slow start for both teams. But Sterling, doesn't matter in the end of the day. Sterling comes out with the victory 41-17, a good crowd on hand here tonight, a mix of super fans, parents, fans, and even some alumni floating around before they head back to school for their second semester on a Friday night here from the Castle. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood bring you all the live action. Remember, we also have a game coming up Monday right here on Channel 19. A 5:30 start, boys basketball taking on Audubon. That game will start at 5:30, so make sure you stay tuned for that. You can follow updates on Twitter at SterlingTV19, and check us out on YouTube if you are not in the area and don't necessarily get our wonderful Channel 19 headed up by Mr. Tad Kozaneski. You can check us out on YouTube, as a lot of the staff members do as well. They don't live in the district, but I know a lot were watching tonight. Mr. Marley's, Mr. Ateen, and many, many others that watched Latanya Berry pick up point number 1,000 here tonight. Latanya Berry finished tonight 16 points, not to be outdone. Tatiana Johnson had 5 points. Jasmine Johnson finished with 9 points. And we had 3 players hit a deep shot at the three-pointers, so there's a lot of action here tonight. Coach Marchese making her way over to Mr. Schulz, and the wrestling team now starting to set up for a big meet that they have tomorrow. I believe it's a quad match that they are setting up for, so the wrestling team was waiting for this game to conclude so they get this gym set up for the wrestling match tomorrow. That will take place tomorrow morning. So if you're in the area tomorrow and you want to stop by and see some wrestling action, stop by. Wrestling team off to an undefeated start. So shout out to Coach O'Donnell and the rest of his coaching staff and wrestlers for doing a fantastic job and early on in this season. Just waiting for the players to come out of the locker room so that we can talk to the latest 1,000-point scorer. We mentioned some of the more notable 1,000-point scores in recent history. Jordan Wallace, the last one to do it back in 2016, finished her career with 1,277 points. Now a senior at Rutgers University playing for C. Vivian Stringer. We got a chance to talk to Jordan Wallace over the break. She was here checking out a couple games right around the break, and phenomenal job that she's doing. They were 6-1 at the time, and their only loss coming against LSU in a tournament that they were competing in. Before that, a pair of 1,000-point scores back in 2013 in Anissa Sanchez and Tyra Satchel. Anissa Sanchez went on to play at Rowan University, had a phenomenal career there, scored 1,000 there, and then went on to play overseas. I believe she's still playing overseas after a great career with the Rowan University Profs. And then 2,000-point scores back in 2001, 2011, in Monica Birch and Kylie O'Donnell Marchese, who obviously now is the head coach of these Lady Knights. You're looking for some radio action, you check us out. Sterling Silver Knights Radio. Plenty of sporting events, best music from 60s to today, some student-driven activity as well. That'll all be coming up, and a fresh restart in the second semester. So we're going to flush out all the... It's going to give it Sterling Radio a new look here in 2020. That will start around February, so make sure you stay tuned for that. A lot of new PSAs and teacher drops, and of course the March Mayhem of Music coming up in obviously March. 32 artists, only one will survive, and the best part about that is you get to decide who moves on and who goes home. All live shows done in the studio in room 402. Students do a great job to compile a lot of research on all these artists, and so that'll be taking place in March. Always a great time. The students really get into that as well. As you can see, the wrestling team was on standby waiting for this game to end so they could start setting up all the mats for this is like the changeover that they do at the Wells Fargo Center. Definitely. In between basketball and hockey, and sometimes they put the slow-mo or the high-speed time-lapse camera on this, and it's maybe we should have thought of that. It would have been kind of a cool look. You look at Jameer Beasley right there, 2019 graduate, talking to some of Somerdale's finest right there. Now playing running track at Rowan University, as you could tell by the yellow. As Mr. Schulz, Latanya Berry running over right now. Our latest 1,000-point scorer. Sterling wins this one 41-17. And we're going to get Mr. Schulz set up. Talking to Latanya Berry. I don't know who's taller, Schulz or Latanya. I don't know. I think Schulz might have a little bit of an edge on Latanya. I'm not sure. Now we got to figure out who would win in a one-on-one battle. I don't know. We'll have to set that up for the end of the season. We'll set up a one-on-one first to 10. Schulz versus Latanya Berry. Well, I'm sure he's going to love me for saying this. We'll set the line on it. We have all season to set the line on that, but we got plenty of time to figure that one out.
Plenty of time. I would love to see that.
41-17. We're going to go down to Kevin Schulz in just a moment, who has our player of the game in Latanya Berry. 1,000-point scorer, number 22 on Sterling Lady Knights. Schulze, take it away.
Here's Latanya Berry. First of all, congratulations. And the question I'm sure we always ask anybody who was in this situation, how nervous were you coming into this game?
I was nervous since last night. I had a talk with Coach Kylie, and she kind of calmed me down, but once I got to school this morning, nerves started kicking in, but once I started playing, I was fine.
And boy, we've seen your journey from freshman year till now, and correct me if I'm wrong. You started playing basketball at a later age. Did you not start till like you were in 7th grade?
Yeah, I came from Jamaica in 2014, and that's when I first got started playing basketball in 7th grade at Yellen.
When did you get to the point where you felt like an accomplishment like this and the whole Division I college basketball thing was a reality?
Once my freshman year, and I first got here, and my stepdad really like talked to me and say I can go far in basketball. That's when I really started believing that I can actually do it. And then I started playing AAU, and I got the scholarship from Manhattan, and I was like, I could really, really get far playing basketball. So.
Was it playing against the caliber players in AAU that said, hey, they're Division I players, I'm right there with them?
Yeah, it was playing against all those girls that were better than me. And I said to myself, I was like, I can be like them one day, and I did it. Thanks to Bells and Coach Mike, Coach April, and Mike Flynn helping me, and Coach Kylie and TJ to help me get here.
All the people that stayed on you, I'm sure they were tough on you sometimes, but tough love, and now do you look at it and see why it was all done?
Yeah. I see why they really were tough on me, because look where I'm at now, and yeah.
Well, and talk also about, we'll talk about this season, and tonight in particular. It looks like now with your success, you're being guarded tougher than ever. Talk about having to fight for open space and going against double teams.
We worked on it a lot in practice, so I know what to do once I get on the court, and Coach Dallas helped me a lot. And we have guards, forwards, and TJ helped me get my space in and what to do if I'm getting triple team, double team. Marley's always open when I'm getting triple team, so I know what to do. And even if I get triple team, I'll let my teammates score.
And is that something you guys are going to get better at as the year goes on with the timing of getting the ball down low to you?
Yeah, we're working on that a lot. Well,
you did it tonight, and Latanya, boy, congratulations, man. This is a great honor and a great basketball tradition, and you're just another great player. And best of luck the rest of the season. We're obviously going to have you on more, and best of luck in college and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and just a great job there by Latanya Berry. And we're going to take it back to Rob Strauss courtside.
Thank you very much, Schulze. Sterling wins this one 41-17. The big highlight, obviously, Latanya Berry joins the 1,000-point scorers club. She turns out to be number 22 on the list. Sure, there's plenty more Lady Knights to come, but that is the big highlight tonight. Plenty of great action coming up next week. Stay tuned to Sterling TV19 on Twitter for all the updates, as well as the next game, Monday, the January 13th, as the boys take on the Green Wave of Audubon's. Tip-off set for 5:30. We'll have that game for you right here on Channel 19 and also live on YouTube. For Nick Anderson, John Hallwood, Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski, and the entire Channel 19 crew always does a phenomenal job. I'm Rob Strauss. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Monday. Boys game against Audubon. Good night.